Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 161. Hope you're all doing great on this long weekend so far. And hey, it's the first show of September. Let's hope the fall is considerably better than the spring and summer of this most unusual year. On this week's brand new show, we're going to talk dorm room tech in a moment with Danby, the makers of bar fridges and air purifiers and such, and what college students really want this year especially. Plus, we'll talk with Danby about its parcel guard, which is meant to stop porch pirates in their tracks. You know, those thieves who will steal your packages right off your doorstep from Amazon and other places. Also this hour, we're going to talk with Razer about its electric scooters and the explosion in popularity with them during the pandemic, and of course what's coming this fall from the company. And speaking of COVID-19, with so many millions of people working or schooling from home, we'll chat about all the strain that will put on your wireless network. Can your Wi-Fi handle all these devices accessing the internet at the same time? We're going to talk with NETGEAR about the latest Wi-Fi standard called Wi-Fi 6, as well as what a mesh network is all about. All of this and more on this week's new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, which I'll tell you more about shortly, but let's kick off the show. It's been about a year since we connected last with Jim Estill, CEO of Danby Appliances. He was on the show to talk about its clever parcel guard product, something to stop porch pirates from stealing your packages. And little did Jim know then, nor did I, and the rest of us for that matter, how big online shopping would become in 2020 because of the pandemic. So I wanted to invite Jim back onto the show to tell us more about Parcel Guard and also to chat about great gear for dorm rooms, given that many will be moving out over the next few weeks, including two of my three kids. My twins are going off to university. Welcome back to the show, Jim.
Well, thanks for having me.
Now, before we talk about dorm room appliances as well as Parcel Guard, please tell us a bit about Danby Appliances.
Well, Danby Appliances, as the name implies, we make appliances, mostly bar fridges, freezers, wine coolers. We also have a pretty robust air conditioner and dehumidifier business. We make about 2 million appliances a year.
Great. So what would you say then, Jim, is new when it comes to small appliances, or at least ones that may be relevant and interesting for university or college-bound students, something that they may be able to take of maybe in their dorm rooms?
Well, the pandemic changes everything. People don't want to use common refrigerators, for instance. So the most obvious is a bar fridge, which is actually our specialty. We're huge in bar fridges. And the other thing, shared cooking microwave. And we actually have a product called a micro fridge, which is a combination appliance, has the microwave on top of a bar fridge with one plug going to the wall, because some universities in a residence, for instance, won't allow you to use extension cords. So micro fridge is perfect for university students, and we sell a ton of them to universities.
Huh, that's pretty cool. And what about air conditioners or air purifiers? Do you find that demographic is interested in that, or that's more for maybe their parents?
What I do think will be of interest is we have an air purifier which has UV, which kills virus, and it covers 188 square feet. And so your dorm room is not going to be that big. And that would be a very good insurance to buy. And they're not that expensive. They're like $150. And I know if I was sending my kids to university, I'd want them to have one of these because of the pandemic, right?
For sure. Before we move on to Parcel Guard, what would be the best website to read up more on your bar fridges and air purifiers?
Just Danby.com, Danby.com.
And then, as I mentioned off the top of our interview, Jim, when we had you on the show last, we chatted about Parcel Guard. This is kind of like a little lockbox for your front porch, if you will. Tell us what it is at a high level, and then we'll dive into some of the other key features.
Sure. So Danby Parcel Guard is a smart parcel mailbox. So when UPS or FedEx puts the parcel in, you get an email or a text to say you have a 6-pound parcel, arrived at 10:42, and you can look on the IP camera and see who dropped it off. or else you can just look at the IP camera any time and see who is on your front porch. If you were returning something by UPS, then you can give the driver a one-time use code, and they can type the code in and open the bottom part, which is right now you put the parcel on the top, it drops to the bottom, similar to a mailbox, essentially. And the real purpose is to stop parcel theft.
Okay, so the idea is whether you're returning a package back to a online store or probably for most people just accepting regular deliveries, this is something that you would affix to your porch, maybe with like a bike lock or something like that, and then courier comes up to it and drops in the package. And how many can it hold, or what sizes are we looking at here?
It holds most of the regular deliveries, shoebox size and whatnot, and it can take a few shoebox size boxes, but most of what we get are thicker envelopes and stuff like that, so people can also use it for mail. As far as fastening it to your front porch, it's actually designed to be bolted to the front porch, or the bottom lifts out and you can actually put paving stones or sandbags in to give it weight. It actually has a tilt sensor that works like a car alarm, so if someone tries to steal it, it screams. And it even has a battery, so it keeps screaming if they try to run off with it. But put a paving stone in the bottom, and nobody's going to carry it. It weighs like 60 pounds.
Just to clarify again about the size of the packages, it can't fit a larger box than a shoebox, right? I think I've seen it larger.
Yeah, it's larger than a shoebox, but it's most. I think it's 80% of the parcels that are delivered from Amazon would go in that.
All right, and let's talk more about the high-tech element again. So there is a camera integrated, and then there's a barcode scanner as well. Like, how do you know that it's a 6-pound box from company ABC and what time it was delivered and all that? Is this all stamped? And can you talk a bit more about that?
Sure. I mean, it's got an IP camera, but the key is you don't want the courier to change their behavior. They just want to go and drop the box. It weighs the parcel. So it has a load sensor in it that says how much the parcel weighs. And it tells you what time it was delivered. So you get an email or a text tell you got the parcel at 10:42, and you can look on the camera and see who dropped the box. So it does not. You can scan the parcel, but what we found is changing driver behavior usually doesn't work. So don't ask them to change their behavior.
And they're trying to deliver as many boxes as they can, probably within a certain amount of time as well.
Exactly. So this just pulls open, closes. It's as easy as dropping it in a letter box. I actually use it for my mail. The advantage of that is if I go away for a week, I don't have to have my son come over and make it look like someone's
right.
living in it. And it is an IP camera, so you can look anytime and see who's on your front porch. Got two-way talk, so yes, you can talk to the driver if you want.
Okay, very cool. We are chatting with Jim Estill. He is the CEO of Danby Appliances. They make several small appliances from air purifiers and air conditioners to bar fridges, as well as Parcel Guard, which is a delivery box, a lock box with a built-in camera that you would affix to your porch, and you can see when your parcels have been delivered. You want to minimize the odds of somebody stealing your packages. So I'm assuming then it does require Wi-Fi because you're able to see the video camera and it's sending you a text message or an email. I think you get to choose. That's all you need?
No, it's Wi-Fi enabled. Of course, you need electricity because that's how you run Wi-Fi, right? But it is charging a battery. So in the event you had a power failure, it does still run for the length of the battery. And it also would foil anybody who wants to cut the wire and try to steal it because it just keeps running.
Is there a family of Parcel Guard products? I think there is, right? There's like a sort of, you've got a choice.
There is a family, and we will be adding to it. Basically, we will be adding other sizes. The ones that sell the best are the Smart Parcel Guard that we're talking about, but we actually sell quite a few of the dumb ones as well, where a dumb one is basically just a drop box but doesn't have any electronics, and they sell surprisingly well. It means you don't need to have electricity, you don't need to have Wi-Fi, but you don't get notified either.
True. And does that take like a mechanical key to open it? And for the smart ones, when you get back home and you want to open it up and get your mail and your packages, do you use your phone or do you type in a code? How does that work?
Yeah, so the smart one, you can type in a code to open it, you can use your phone to open it, or you can use a physical key. For the dumb ones, yes, it's just a physical key to open it.
Okay.
Works fine.
And how much are the, I like how you call them, dumb Parcel Guards, as well as the smart ones? How much do they start at each?
They sell for about $150 for the dumb ones and $250 for the smart ones.
Okay. And then Danby.com is the best place to learn more about all of the products we've chatted about. That's DANBY.com.
That's correct.
All right, Jim, thanks for your time today. Good to chat with you as always. And I hope these continue to sell well for you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
And while I didn't ask Jim about it in particular, I know Amazon has a solution called Amazon Key, where you allow a vetted driver to come into your door. They have to show their face on the camera, and there's all these prerequisites, which I get. And then you're allowing them to drop in the parcel inside and then lock the door behind them. There's a bit of trust there. Not for everyone, but I know a lot of people that use it like that convenience. But the parcel guard is another way of combating that same problem, which is we're really moving to a very heavy online shopping trend for obvious reasons. And so it's key to protect your packages. For those who live in a condo, it's a lot easier, right? Because there's often a concierge or somebody to lock up the parcel for you, but not so with many homeowners. All right, when we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with Razer about its electric scooters. And after that, we'll chat with NETGEAR about Wi-Fi 6 routers and how that can solve the Wi-Fi congestion problems that you have in your home. This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio. That's asus.com/US/radio. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. A few weeks ago on this program, I had a guest on to talk about e-bikes, which was a first for Tech It Out, in fact. And now we're going to learn about e-scooters or electric scooters, which have also exploded in popularity during the pandemic. And specifically, we've got two guests on the line joining us from Razer. We've got Jim Wagner, president of the company, and Ian Desberg. He's the head of design and development at Razer. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for carving out some time to chat. Now, before we hear about your electric scooters, Jim, please tell us a bit about the company, Razer.
Yeah, sure. We like to say Razer is the original scooter company, as it's the company that popularized and created the phenomenon around kick scooters back in 2000. And at that time, kids and adults alike were finding great joy in riding these aluminum aircraft-grade scooters everywhere they wanted to go. And then that kind of quickly evolved into people doing stunts on the scooters, started with simple wheelies, evolved into true stunts that they did at skate parks around the country and really around the world. And I guess from those kick scooter beginnings, Razer has continued to innovate and evolve scooters, as well as become the leader in all types of ride-ons, both kid-powered, what we call kid-powered, and electric. And today, celebrating the 20th anniversary, Razer, we think, stands for the coolest ride-ons for youth-minded people of all ages. So I think people would be amazed at the variety of products, from scooters to ripsticks to hoverboards to electric motorcycles, that Razer offers today.
Okay, cool. I like that. For the youth-minded, that's like kids and kids at heart, right?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's part transportation, like getting from point A to point B, and part recreation, like the stunts and the tricks and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's people who like to ride it for transportation and recreation. And we like to say we're the most fun getting from point A to point B.
There you go. So Ian, can you clarify first what an electric scooter is exactly? I mean, obviously it has an electric motor, but does it do all the heavy lifting for you, or does it help you out, like manually ride a scooter?
Well, I think the term electric scooter has evolved over the years. And, way back, you might have thought an electric scooter was like a Vespa type product. And now, of course, we know electric scooters as the stand-up thing that propels you along. Our scooter's electric drive system really propels you along. You don't have to do much other than steer, ride, and watch out for potholes or whatever's in your way. But the product does the driving, and you stand and just enjoy your ride and control it along.
And to add to that, I'd say it's dissimilar to the electric bike category, where there's pedal assist and there's full electric ride. These are electric scooters similar to an electric vehicle. You get in and you get on an electric scooter and you just ride.
Thank you for the clarification. What kind of range do you get on these things? And also, are there any technologies that help you balance, like gyroscopes and things like that? Or is there a bit of a learning curve?
Well, as you know, Razor's more than just scooters. We have all kinds of ride-ons for kids and adults, as Jim has talked about earlier. And we have all kinds of technologies that propel those. So we have proprietary technologies. We have hub motors. We have chain drives. We have all kinds of drive systems, direct drive systems, all propelled by electric system. That's how we roll.
Literally, yeah.
I think the electric scooters are really easy to ride. You just step on them, kick, and go. The only product that probably takes a little bit of a learning curve are the hoverboards. So our hover tracks, Razors, actually come with an EverBalance technology, which allows kids, or as we said, kids at heart, to jump on and learn how to ride right away.
I want to add on to what Jim was saying. Getting back to all the different things Razor makes, we have scooters that you sit down. We have scooters that you stand up. We have scooters that balance you and have technology in them. And we build towards the customer. And so kids are good for around the neighborhood riding. And then we build longer range items for adults who are commuting last mile or further.
Okay, but you can't quantify the range and say definitively you can get up to, 20 miles, that kind of thing.
We can, and we do. And that's product by product and for customer by customer.
For kids' electric scooters, we generally share the range in minutes because that's what parents want. They want to know how many minutes can my kid go off and ride this electric scooter.
And that's going to vary on the terrain as well. Is it paved? Is it a bit more gravel? Is it uphill? Is it downhill? So I recognize that there are some environmental factors that can impact the range.
Absolutely. And the range for kids' scooters can go anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour or even more.
Oh, cool.
A ride time. And then for adults, the range can be anywhere from 10 miles to 20 miles and vary based on price and product.
All right. So with that in mind, Ian, I know you're going to be telling us about 3 new models that you're working on in a moment, but can you first give us some info on the just released ePrime 3?
Yeah, ePrime 3, fantastic scooter. This is our 3rd iteration of the ePrime line, which is great for customers because they get the latest and greatest, and after 3 years of feedback, they get this newest edition of the ePrime series. This is our top-of-the-line sports car style scooter. In other words, this is high-quality, aircraft-grade aluminum parts, beautifully crafted in a folding electric scooter with a hub motor. It goes up to 18 miles an hour, but it's super light, it's super responsive, and really drives like a sports car. So that's what's fun about it. It's great around town. It's not the longest range scooter, but it is a great choice for last mile because you can fold it up and carry it into the office when you get there, and a great time getting there.
And it's spelled ePrime Roman numeral 3. And we have a lot more time with Razor when we return after this short break to learn about some other new electric scooters. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Jim Wagner. He's the president of Razor, and Ian Desberg, head of design and development at the company. How much does the ePrime 3 cost, and where could our listeners pick one up if they're interested?
The ePrime 3 has a suggested retail price of $399, but you can find it at most major retailers or for even less, and even including Amazon.
Now, Ian and Jim, what would you say are the key differentiators between the ePrime 3 and other, let's call them similarly priced electric scooters? I know there's other companies out there like the Segways, like the 9bot scooters and all that. So what would you say is your secret sauce? Jim, maybe we'll start with you.
I think the ePrime 3, like all the electric scooters in Razor's lineup, is rear-wheel drive. And we think that's important. And what we found over 20 years of making scooters is that this provides the best combination of safety and stability. So you'll see many of our competitors with front-wheel drive scooters in the marketplace because it's, quite frankly, cheaper to manufacture, but we just don't believe it provides a superior ride. So I think that's one of the core elements that is a differentiator for Razor. And then, obviously with the ePrime 3, it's super fast and it's the lightest in its category. So if someone's looking for a great option for that last mile or an option for public transportation, which we know everyone's looking for in this time and age, we think this ePrime 3 is a great choice.
Ian?
Sure, yeah. And I think Razor is the secret sauce here. And as you pour Razor all over this item, what you're getting is the ingredients in that sauce. And that's much more than just the scooter that we're talking about. It's where Razor came from and its heritage. The visionary owners and partners, really have that vision and have taken the company from its beginnings to where we are now in electric transportation. Highly experienced frame builders and Hall of Famers that we employ here in R&D that really keep the rides not only consistent but ride quality extremely excellent in cornering and turning and how the frames are made. We have top factories, years of iteration in electric scooter. Razor was definitely the first in stand-up electric scooter years ago. And we really understand our customers. We've had years of doing this. We have a great company who understands how to do business. And we understand who our customers are and what they're looking for. So as you pour that sauce all over ePrime 3, it comes out the end, and it's a great quality product.
All right, so without further ado, Ian, I want to get to the 3 new models that you're cooking up: the EcoSmart Sup, the E300 HD, and the C25. Please tell us about them.
Sure. EcoSmart Sup. And you asked us a question earlier before we got started about how do we pronounce that, SUP or SUP,
Yeah.
And it can be either one.
Okay.
But EcoSmart is another legacy product that's been around at Razor for a while. And this iteration, it's been a seated scooter in its initial incarnation, but now we've taken it to be a stand-up scooter as well. So it has a counterpart that's now stand-up. So this is a large wheel, 16-inch wheel scooter, and this is a product that we use for our share program that certain customers in certain cities can rent on the street.
Cool.
As part of those share rides.
Right.
So we're using the EcoSmart for that. But the new SUP is stand up, and that's what SUP stands for. And it's also kind of a play on stand up paddle boarding, which is a giant behemoth surfboard that you'd stand up and paddle. So that's the analogy there with the SUP. But EcoSmart is going from the seated scooter to now stand up, and that's the newness there. And it's just big, comfortable Cadillac ride, and it's a 36-volt system, and it's extremely enjoyable and comfortable.
And when's it coming out?
That is launching in, Jim, when are we launching that one?
That product's coming in the coming weeks.
Oh, okay. Great.
Right there.
All right, now let's move on to the E300 HD.
E300 HD also builds on our legacy line of the original E series. So our E series was our original electric scooter series. And this is updated with HD or hub drive. So bringing it into a more modern contemporary componentry. And so we have rear wheel hub drive electric scooter that's built on kind of the classic Razor e-scooter look and style. And that's coming out in the coming month as well.
Okay. And then finally, the C25.
The C25 is definitely a visionary product from our owner, Carlton Calvin, who had a vision to put a large front wheel on a stand-up scooter. So the large air tire front wheel is much larger than the rear wheel. And this offers, there's no suspension on this scooter, but this large air-filled tire, 12-inch air-filled tire on the front, offers that comfort and ride quality that you would get with a suspension-style scooter without having the suspension.
Okay, now as we wrap up, and speaking of 2020, Jim, obviously it's been one heck of a year for obvious reasons, but it has probably helped the electric scooter industry, as I hinted at off the top. Do you anticipate the popularity of your scooters to continue past COVID-19?
Yes, actually, we believe the current environment is simply accelerated a movement that is.
You've got all these puns, first what's coming down the road.
People are searching for greener forms of transportation, like electric cars and electric scooters.
More affordable.
Yeah, and we've seen demand right now 2 to 3 times what it was last year at this time, but it's simply it's an amplification, I guess, of this movement of people wanting to be good for the environment. And what better way to do that than a Razor scooter? I mean, I think it's going to continue for us.
All right, Jim, as we wrap up, where can we learn more about Razor?
Well, the best way to learn about Razor and electric scooters is razor.com. Of course, if you wanted to enjoy the whole Razor lifestyle, you'd want to follow us on your favorite social media platforms, because we're always open to welcoming more people like you, Mark, into our Razor family. So thanks for checking us out.
Yeah. And again, thanks for taking the time to chat with me today. And just to clarify, it's Razor with an O. So RAZOR.com. And you can find them all over social media as well. Jim and Ian, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. Have a great rest of the summer. Continued success.
Thanks, Mark. Really enjoyed connecting with you today. Thank you.
Hey, you're listening to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. When we return on the show, we are going to talk with NETGEAR about Wi-Fi 6. You're going to want to learn all about this. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops. And they're broken into 4 categories. There's the ZenBooks, which are cutting-edge tech, their latest in innovation. VivoBooks, which are awesome sort of all-around day-to-day laptops with different colors to choose from. There's the ExpertBooks for more of a business-grade laptop, and Chromebooks, which run Google's Chrome OS and often are more affordable than some of the other ones like ZenBooks, but lots to choose from at asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. And speaking of laptops, you could have the best laptop, the biggest smart TV, or the sleekest tablet, but none of that matters if you don't have good Wi-Fi at home. And with many kids learning from home and parents working from home, you bet Wi-Fi has never been more important. And so who better to touch base with to talk about Wi-Fi trends than NETGEAR, including a new standard that we're going to learn about and a way to broaden the range in your home to eliminate those annoying Wi-Fi dead zones. We're joined on the line by David J. Henry. He's the SVP of Connected Home Products at NETGEAR. Welcome to the show, David. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark.
Sure. Now, before we talk about Wi-Fi 6, this latest standard, please tell us a bit about NETGEAR.
Yeah, so NETGEAR has been around for almost 25 years. I've been here for over 16, and we specialize in connecting small businesses and homes and medium-sized businesses to the internet. And in the old days, that meant wired, using Ethernet cables and things like that. But today, it's all about Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay. And many people are now working from home, as I mentioned off the top, mom or dad, and the kids are and their siblings are all schooling from home. So that can put a lot of strain on the network, right?
Of course. I mean, we're all feeling it right now. I mean, one of the biggest consumers of internet bandwidth is video. And so, of course, when you're watching Netflix or streaming a show, that consumes bandwidth. But typically, you don't have, everybody streaming at the exact same time a Netflix show. In some houses you do. But now, with everyone working from home and schooling from home, it is very common to have multiple people, if not 4, 5, 6, even more people, all on video conferences, Zoom video conference at the same time. And we've all seen sometimes when you're on a video conference and sometimes someone's connection's not good and their voice goes in and out or their video gets choppy, or sometimes they just disappear completely from the Zoom chat. And that's very disruptive. Of course, as a student, that'd be disruptive if you're trying to learn. but it can also be disruptive to anyone else on the call. And oftentimes, that's a result of too much congestion on the network in your home by everyone using the network at the same time.
Anecdotally, David, I can relate because I do TV interviews via Skype now because of COVID-19. So I'm not going to studios, but I'm doing it from my home office over video while my son may be trying to play Fortnite and video chat at the same time with his friends, or my daughter is streaming Disney Plus or Apple TV Plus, and my wife is following along with Peloton videos. And so we're the typical family where it has become an issue personally and professionally when we're all trying to access high-speed internet at the same time. So there's this gleam of hope here that's called Wi-Fi 6. It's this new standard.
Yep.
So tell us about how this can make a difference.
Sure. We are in the 6th generation of Wi-Fi. It's been around for over 20 years now. It's hard to believe. But every generation, maybe usually every few years, a new technology comes in Wi-Fi, and it's usually faster than the one before it. And Wi-Fi 6 is faster than Wi-Fi 5, but it's actually more important than that. It's much more efficient than previous generations. So what does that mean? It's designed for the scenario we just mentioned, where somebody's streaming, someone's doing a video chat, somebody is playing an online game, someone's doing work all at the same time, and there's a congestion. The metaphor that I use for Wi-Fi 6 is that your internet connection is kind of like a highway, and it has a speed limit. Right? But anytime you're in traffic, you're not going to go the speed limit, right? There's too many cars on the road. You just can't get to the speed limit. But imagine on that same highway, you had 4 times as many lanes. Well, now you can actually finally travel the speed limit. And in the world of internet, Wi-Fi 6 is basically adding more lanes to your highway, allowing you to achieve and meet your speed limit, which is the maximum speed of your internet connection that you're paying for your ISP.
It's a great analogy. So more lanes on the highway or super information highway means that we can have more simultaneous devices on the network at the same time without the congestion that we've been facing over the last couple of years. So with that in mind, what NETGEAR products do you have that could help here?
Sure. I mean, NETGEAR, we understand that everyone's home is different. Everyone's internet connection is different. And what they have in terms of connections at their home and devices at their home is very different. So we have a lot of different ways to solve your connectivity problems. Obviously, probably the first thing you'll think of is upgrading your home Wi-Fi router. And so NETGEAR has a line of Wi-Fi 6 wireless routers called Nighthawk. Nighthawk is our premium high-performance wireless routers. And a wireless router is basically that box you plug into the wall that is going to provide wireless signal to all of your devices in the home. Now, some people aren't going to be replacing that Wi-Fi router. Maybe they got it from their ISP directly or their internet provider, and they don't want to remove it. They can actually still improve their connection with one of our range extenders. And a range extender basically extends the connection of your internet to a new room, a new part of the home, even into the backyard. And we have Wi-Fi 6 range extenders as well. So we've got a whole portfolio of Wi-Fi 6 products that can help people upgrade their networks.
All right. And I know they're all at netgear.com, where you can see the line of Wi-Fi 6 enabled routers and extenders. And when we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue chatting with NETGEAR about Wi-Fi 6 and mesh systems, both of which are ideal for those working and or schooling from home. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with David J. Henry. He's the Senior Vice President of Connected Home Products at NETGEAR. And you talked about range and extending it to rooms or even out to the backyard. But there's another technology that has bubbled up over the last couple of years called mesh. Can you explain what that is and what NETGEAR has in that department?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things we're seeing, especially right now in this work from home, school from home environment we're in right now, is that you're working in different parts of the home than you used to. So, for example, before this scenario, I used to work in my home office, which was the same room where my wireless router was. So I had a great connection. But since this pandemic, well, my son has now taken that room to do homework in. So now I've been moved to the dining room. So now I'm doing my work in the dining room. And at certain parts of the day, when it gets loud, I'm doing my work in the back, literally in the backyard. in order to get strong internet connections to all these new workplaces, we've invented something called mesh technology, mesh Wi-Fi. And what that means is instead of having just one wireless router that covers your house, you can have multiple wireless routers or access points around your home that can seamlessly provide a blanket of coverage everywhere. So very similar to cell towers that you'll see as you're driving down the freeway. As you're driving down the freeway, your phone will connect to one cell tower, and then a mile later you'll be connected to a different one. The same thing applies in mesh networking. When you walk around your home with your device, whether it's your phone or tablet, our mesh technology will automatically connect you to the right wireless access point. And at NETGEAR, that mesh technology is called Orbi, and we're the market leader in performance king when it comes to mesh technology.
All right. Another great analogy about joining cell towers as you drive down the road. So when you're walking through your home, your devices will automatically connect to the strongest and or nearest access point or hub or puck or whatever you call it. Every company has a different name for the little things that you plug into the wall. Sure. All you have to do is plug it in. Usually an app will tell you the optimal place to plug it in. And Orbi is a leader here. That's ORBI. That's called mesh technology. Each of those access points make a wireless handshake with one another and then blanket your entire home and even outside of your home in many cases, as you mentioned, David. So you've got high-speed internet everywhere you go. No more dead zones, those annoying little pockets, those little nooks of various rooms that have no or lousy internet connectivity. How can you tell which mesh solution to invest in? And if I'm not mistaken, it's a modular approach. Like if you have a larger home, let's say it's north of 5,000 or 6,000 square feet, you could actually buy more access points and that will work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the most important parts about mesh technology is that it scales to your home. We have people with as little as 2 mesh devices that we call the mesh router and the mesh satellite are kind of the 2 different pieces. We have people with as little as 2 for maybe a home that's around 2,500 square feet or so. But as your home gets larger, or maybe you have really challenging building construction, like you've got concrete floors and you have a basement down there you want to get coverage to. Well, the larger your home or you want to get coverage outside, the larger your home or the area that you want coverage, the more satellites you can add. So we've got people with 4 or 5 for large homes. But yeah, it's completely scalable.
All right. And I know you have different solutions also at netgear.com. And if I'm not mistaken, David, you have combinations of Wi-Fi 6 and mesh in one box.
Yes. We have introduced a Wi-Fi 6 Orbi just over a year ago, and it is one of our most popular products right now, particularly in today's day where people just want to upgrade the best. Now, when you upgrade your network, people don't want to upgrade every other year. You want to buy a network that's going to be prepared for what their home and their smart home is going to look like 2, 3, 4 years out. So that's why people are investing in Wi-Fi 6 because they know it's the standard that's going to really propel them for the next few years. And our Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is for that person who's really trying to upgrade and prepare themselves.
Yeah, I didn't realize it's been out for a year already. Wow. And we should leave off with just a tip for our listeners that in order to get the most out of Wi-Fi 6, you should have Wi-Fi 6 supported devices. So while it is backward compatible, if you have a 3-year-old laptop, you should still see some sort of performance boost. But in order to truly embrace the benefits of this next generation technology, you should have a Wi-Fi 6 enabled laptop and other devices like iPhone 11 supports Wi-Fi 6, for example.
Yeah, I mean, most of the times when you upgrade your network, sometimes it's even advance of the devices. We launched our Wi-Fi 6 products a year ago. Pretty much everything that you're going to be buying over the next few years will be Wi-Fi 6. But yeah, you can upgrade in piecemeal, upgrade as you go.
David, it's been great chatting with you. David Henry, SVP of Connected Home Products at NETGEAR. And thanks for your time. Have a great rest of your summer.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark.
And thank you for tuning into an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, asus.com/US/radio has more. That's ASUS.com. And also a huge thank you to WD, Western Digital, and some of their other brands like G Technology and SanDisk and WD Black. We're going to learn more about that next week. But thank you for tuning in this hour. I'm wishing you a productive and healthy and happy week ahead. And I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on an all-new Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.